Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Barakah, Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And, Becky Wildin, man. Becky Wildin. Becky probably is used to the so-called black man, dribbling in front of her and falling down before her feet and worshipping her, that she feel like she could disrespect under the guise of protecting black women and women's rights. But really, it's just probably that her last relationship or encounter with the so-called black man didn't go exactly as she would like, and she's using this as an opportunity to throw some shade and take some shots. Because these so-called white men are very narcissistic. The minute they don't get what they want or things ain't the way they want it to be, especially with so-called black men, you see a different side to them. Alright? So we're going to hear what this Becky got to say, and hopefully this is going to be edifying.
You know, something that always baffles me is how black men are misogynistic and treat women and their women, but just women as a whole, the same way that white men do. And as we know...
Right. So it's this whole bullshit about, misogynistic and misogyny, which is a terminology used basically to disable the man, to attack the man or shame the man for being dominant and trying to establish any form of dominance over the woman, which is natural. The man in his order is naturally supposed to be dominant over his woman. Men are supposed to be dominant over women. That's the natural order. The Israelite man is supposed to be superior to the Israelite woman. Okay? The Israelite man is supposed to be of higher honor than the Israelite woman. That's just how it is. That's the natural order of things. And that is not hate. Neither is that oppression. That's just order. And the natural order is a necessity for positive, productive living and growth. That is a part of the way of life that the Lord laid down in the good book. Okay? If we, for instance, see here under examples of being misogynistic, the term misogynistic means you hate women. It says if you judge women's sexual behavior differently from men's sexual behavior, they would class you as a woman hater, which is foolishness. Men and women are not the same. A man can have multiple wives according to the righteousness of the Most High Creator who created man and woman, right? But a woman cannot have more than one sexual partner. That is natural law. That is a law of the Most High. That is not neither hateful or loving to women. It's just what it is, and it is necessary for life to proliferate in righteousness, being productive and positive. Okay? But according to this demon, that would be declared to be misogyny. Okay? You're disgusted at seeing women's body here. Well, first of all, that's something that only applies to Edomites, because Israelites are not known for being hairy. If a husband desires to see his woman without hair on her body, that's his prerogative in his own household. So that's neither here nor there. A man has a right to have a preference as to how his woman carries herself or behaves. Alright? That's his right, because that woman is his woman and was made for his pleasure. It says you believe women are too emotional to be good leaders. That's a fact. Alright? If you allow your emotion to override logic, right, integrity and judgment, then you cannot be a good leader, because that means that you can be manipulated using your emotions into making decisions, not only to the detriment of yourself, but to the detriment of those that follow you. An emotional leader will make detrimental mistakes. An enemy will take advantage of that. Okay? Because as soon as you get emotional, you stop thinking straight. It's okay to get emotional, but to allow those emotions to control your judgment leads to error. It's carnal. The Bible tells you the carnal mind is enmity to the Most High, because it cannot be subject unto his law. Something feels good, so you do it. It's not the way of the law. If it's good, you do it. And if it's evil or wrong according to the Bible, you don't do it. It's not based upon how you feel or your fucking emotions. Because that can change from day to day and from situation to situation based upon the differing variabilities. Alright? So no, women do not make good leaders, and neither were they created to be leaders. That's not misogyny, that's just facts. Yet, and are not good at science or sports. Women can be good at sports, they're just not as good as men. Alright, men are far superior in any sport when it comes to women, for obvious reasons. Or a woman's main purpose is to be a mother. A woman's main purpose is to be the wife of a man and to bear his children and to proliferate and grow the household. That is the main purpose according to the Bible. Alright? The only person that said that is any different to that is the so-called white man, the devil, that the Bible speaks of. Okay? This is 1 Corinthians 11:3 says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. Right? That's order. Order does not equal hatred. To be dominant or superior over someone else doesn't mean you hate that person. That's stupid. I'm dominant and superior over my children. That doesn't mean I hate them. Fucking morons. And the head of the woman is the man. The head of the woman is the man. Yeah? That's the natural order. And the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. Alright? Simple. Let's jump down. It says here, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Men came first, the Lord created men first, and he created women second to supplement the man. If men were not created, then women would not have been created. The woman was created for the man. Alright? It says, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So the woman was made for the man's purpose. Right? The man is the star in the show. He's the lead character. The woman is part of the supporting cast. That's just how it is. It's a man's world. That doesn't mean that you hate women. That's stupid. It says, nevertheless, neither is the woman without the man. Alright? The way life is designed to operate here on earth, the man and woman are joined together, especially men and women of the same seed, because men and women of the same seed share the same destiny. They share the same heritage and they share the same destiny. That's why wherever the Israelite man is, there is the Israelite woman, and vice versa. You go into the ghettos, you're going to see Israelite men and Israelite women. If you go on them slave ships, you go down to the lower decks, you are going to find Israelite men and Israelite women, because the curses came upon the seed, and the seed consists of men and women together. And just as we rose together at one time, during the time of David and Solomon, so we fell together many times, and we have fallen together in these last days. Nevertheless, we shall be delivered together, as it is written. In fact, hold on. Let's get this, man. Right, 1 Peter 3:5 says, "For after this manner in the old time, holy women also," talking about Israelite women, because no other woman can be holy. The Israelite woman is of the holy seed. Right? Old time holy women also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Right? The woman is supposed to be in subjection unto her own husband. Yeah? Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Now, that don't mean that Abraham hated Sarah. In fact, Abraham loved Sarah very much. But love doesn't mean there's no order. There is no duty. There is no place. Alright? Esau try and twist up the thing. "Whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor," right, "unto the wife." So you're supposed to value your wife. The word honor means value. You're supposed to value your wife. But guess what, man? You ain't supposed to value your wife above your principles, your honor, the Lord Most High, right? The nation, Yahweh Shai, the Most High. Everything has to be in its proper order. You're not supposed to sin for the sake of your wife. But within the law and righteousness, you are supposed to love your wife. That doesn't mean there's no order or boundaries. Okay? As unto the weaker vessel, because the woman is the weaker vessel. The man is the stronger vessel, the dominant vessel. That's not hate. And as being heirs together of the grace of life. So this thing isn't about man versus woman, as if this is about like the woman being destroyed and the man being saved. That's not what this thing is all about. There are men that are going to be delivered and there are women that are going to be delivered. This is not a fucking gender war. There are, of course, there is issues that we got to work out. And that's why the women get rebuked just like the men get rebuked. No doubt. But this isn't about man versus woman. That's the hot thing on the internet, the gender war, and it's toxic. But that's not what this thing is all about. Alright? Because the women that's going to make it are heirs of the grace of life. Right? That your prayers be not hindered. Finally, be ye all of one mind, right? And that one mind comes from the woman's submission. Having compassion one of another. So a man's supposed to have compassion towards his wife, even as the wife is to have compassion towards her husband, man. So where's the misogyny? It says, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous, alright? Not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are called that ye should inherit a blessing. Alright? Okay, that's the point. So jumping back in 1 Corinthians 11, it says, for as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. So the man was made and then the woman was made. But the way men are proliferated on earth is by the woman. So a man then gets a woman pregnant, and that's how you get more men and women. So men are by the woman, but all things are of God. It goes back to the will and the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Alright? And again, right? And that's why Esau Edom injected feminism among our people, man, to destroy the strength. Because once you bring that disorder, you destroy strength. You're not putting your best foot forward, right? You causing contention, you're breaking up families, you're causing disharmony, all right? And you're putting women in the forefront, who are easily manipulated, right? You're putting up front the weakest link, right? This is 1 Timothy 2:11. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Right? So now the same way Adam had to learn his lesson, Eve got to learn her lesson too, and that's the ones that's going to make it. You got to learn your lesson, man. Right? Play your position. Don't get out of pocket. You're doing too much. Get caught out there. Yeah? Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith, childbearing. The misogyny. But that's what women were designed for. Literally. That's the main biological difference between a man and a woman. A woman is designed to bear children. That's why their hips are different. They're literally designed to nurture babies, man. They have breasts that produce milk. Goodness gracious. Yeah, they got soft looks. Children love them soft looks, innit? Yeah, the soft touch. That's necessary. Especially when you're dealing with babies, you have to be soft. You can't be odd. You have to be super compassionate and attentive to the needs of that young child. Yeah, women do a thing called nesting, where they prepare the nest for children. Men don't have that nesting nature. Alright, it's all set up in the spirit, man. Just follow the effing manual, man. Esau trying to break the manual, then turn around and try to shame the black man, call him a misogynist. Man, get the fuck out of here, Becky. Alright, you don't love black women, and you don't love black men, so why are you even talking for? Just shut your mouth. Yeah? If they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety, so the so-called black woman has a standard to live up to as a woman in her order, just like the Israelite man also has a standard to live up to as a man in his order. Everybody has a standard and a place and an honor within the body, within the nation, within the family. In love. It's not hate. Goofy. So let's jump back over here, man, because she's chatting a bag of thing. Bear with me.
Which is what I find ironic, because during slavery, black men, you were treated as less than human to these white men who are on these podcasts.
Yeah, but what are you talking about? Who said that the women of our nation are less than women? That's you saying that, because your ideology is that unless you treat the woman as an equal or treat the woman as a man, that means you're not treating her as a human. That's stupid. That's retarded. So is a child equal to a parent And if you don't treat the child as equal to the parent, does that mean that the child is less of a human? You fucking moron. No, it's just order, man. To hell with this thought, man. Anyway.
Preaching this misogynistic ideologies that they invented. So
by the misogynistic ideology is anything that's traditional, which puts a difference between a man and a woman and places gender roles and order. According to her, that was invented by the so-called white man, which is bullshit. Esau didn't invent that.
Basically, all these white men that are on these podcasts speaking for men and spreading this misogynistic ideologies, they see you as also less than human, black man. They see you.
That's why they're going into slavery, and so are you.
Just as marginalized and less than human, the same way they see women. So why the fuck are you trying to be at a party that you are not invited to? See, you feel because you are a man, you have...
I missed the bit where she was stupid enough to say it started from slavery. Hold on. It was because I needed to touch
some sort of...
She's so busy. Podcast. She was probably so busy in school swallowing dick. Yeah, there we go. Swallowing dick here that she didn't listen in history class. So let's hear this again. She says, as we know, the patriarchy originated by white supremacy and white men. So according to this dildo head, the ideology or the idea of patriarchy, which means the dominance of men and the elder men in society, right? The dominance of fathers in society comes from the so-called white man. This is what happens when you've consumed too much dick. Alright? This is what happens, man. When you spend most of your time in school sucking off people in the janitor's closet than actually listening to what's going on in the history class. This is madness. Let's drop this back. Listen to this.
We know the patriarchy was originated by white supremacy and white men. Of course, it started during slavery.
White supremacy wasn't just about white men. You were a part of it too. It was about making the so-called white man seed, which includes you women, supreme over everyone else, a position which you thoroughly enjoyed and benefited from. And now you want to distance yourself. Oh, no, wait, I was oppressed too. Well, you go, fuck out of here, man.
Which is what I find ironic.
Right, she's saying it started during slavery. She was bitch dumb as rocks, man. And some of you niggas worship white bitches like this. Oh, baby, oh, if it ain't snowing. You dumb niggas, man. That's why these bitches feel that they can talk like this, man. Because you niggas worship these white women for some strange reason. And it's sad, man. I grew up around these bitches, so I know exactly what they're like. Even when they got a little fetish for black men, like, trust me, the minute you don't do exactly what they told you to do like a good pet, yeah, you're gonna find something out. Yeah, you man need to stop petting up these girls like there's some, listen, they've had enough of that. Bunch of narcissists, man. That's why she feels she could chat. She couldn't chat to me, yo, because I'll put her in her place. Yeah, but let me look up this word patriarchy right here. So all you gotta do is go to patriarchy, yeah? Real simple. Patriarchy is a social system in which positions of dominance and privilege are primarily held by men. It is used both as a technical blah 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 blah, feminist blah blah blah, okay? Patrilineal blah 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 blah. Right? Dominance held by men, and that's how it is in Israelite society. You have the man, the husband, then you have the head of the family, the head of the clan, right? Then you got the head of the tribe, and then you got the king over the nation. That's righteousness, right? Patriarchal society. That's the way that the Lord set up for our people to live. All right, right? Even going back to Numbers, when in the take ye, Numbers chapter 1 verse 2, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families by the house of their fathers. Not their mothers, the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their polls. Right? And the heads of those men were all men. Of course. Righteousness. That's how it's supposed to be. Just like the 144,000 from each tribe are going to be men. The 12 apostles are all men. That's righteousness. Yeah? And that's what women love. Women don't want no man that's a pussy, yo. The women can't, it sounds good because guess what? The society has shamed women into being women. Society and Esau and his evil and toxic doctrine has made a woman ashamed of being inferior to men. Right? So they feel like they need to try and step it up, but they don't really want to do it. And then if they get a dude and they get to run all over him and he's a pussy, yo, they despise that man because a woman wants a man that's better than her. As simple as that. They want a man that's stronger, faster, smarter, braver. They don't want a man that's a pussy, yo, that's inferior. That doesn't make her feel secure. It's against nature. She want a man to dominate her. What the fuck are you talking about, man? But Esau, in his wicked witchcraft, has twisted their minds to go against their own nature, and that's why they still end up angry and depressed. Because it's not natural. It's twisted, it's toxic, and it doesn't work. Alright. Let's jump back over to this fucking Becky over here that knows everything.
Some sort of privilege or power or sense of inclusion.
Oh, okay, look, what am I doing? Let me go back down. Let's go to history. Pre-history, bro, God. That even in Esau's goofy fucking prehistory, which isn't true, the man's telling you that it's prehistoric, but we know there's no such thing as prehistory, so we're gonna skip that. Domination by men or women is found in the ancient Near East as far back as 3000 BCE. That's the beginning of time, yeah, because that's recorded history, right? From the beginning of recorded history, patriarchy has existed and men have been dominant. So how the hell is she gonna tell us that patriarchy began with slavery in the fucking 1700s? This was she been sucking to. She ain't got no business talking or trying to tell anybody history because she weren't listening in history class and she ain't done no reading. She be just on TikTok listening to our stupid ass women who also ain't done nothing but suck ruts. So what the fuck do they know? Alright? Domination by men or women is found in the ancient Near East as far back as 3100 BCE as restrictions on women's reproductive capacity and exclusion from the process of representing or the construction of history. According to some researchers, with the appearance of the Hebrews, there is also the exclusion of woman from the God-humanity covenant. Alright, because the Lord was dealing through men, right? There weren't no priestesses, only priests. Right? The women are still part of the people of the Most High, and the Lord hears their prayers and cares for them, but the Lord was dealing with the nation through the men. That's why the priesthood was all men. It was all, the covenant was made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? And the women were joined onto them. So they were heirs because they were joined. So what the hell is this woman talking about? You see what I mean? She on TikTok talking. That's why wisdom is supposed to speak, man. Not just any and anyone with a damn flipping mobile phone. But this is what happens. People just start chatting shit. Like they know something. Basic things like ancient history. I shouldn't be able to see none of this evidence. She said it started in slavery. Blood clot idiot, man. Let's keep it going, man. These people are fucking retarded, man.
Some sort of privilege or power or sense of...
She don't want the so-called black man to have power in his own house. She don't want that. And really the crux of the matter is, yeah, she's trying to control, probably, maybe not, she could just be standard, but she more than likely is one of them white women that's tried to pet off and control a few black men in her life. and things didn't go exactly her way. She want to put you so-called black men in your place. She telling you that you as a so-called black man cannot be dominant over your own woman. Which in fact is Willie Lynch philosophy. But she telling you she trying to help. She trying to help. Just fuck out of here, man.
Inclusion in this male supremacy patriarchy. Behind your back, these men are laughing at you and they don't respect you. No matter how much money you get,
they're gonna respect us when even our women don't. This is the thing you need to understand. How can how can you have supremacy over the world and other men if you don't even have supremacy over your woman? That's a bit of logic that your dildo brain won't understand, and that's why the Willie Lynch was set up. Because if you can't even have dominance and order set up among you in your own house, then how can you seek to dominate other men? It makes no sense. You can't dominate a creature that's designed to be penetrated. Then how the hell can you dominate other men? So she's pushing you so-called black men to be weak. That's what she wants, and she's trying to shame you by calling you a misogynist. She working for the enemy, man.
Like Kanye, you're still an N-word in a coupe.
What's that got to do with what's going on in our household, and why is it any of your business? Why is it any of her business anyway? You know why she thinks it's her business? Because she's talking a few black cockies in her life, innit? So she thinks she could talk. Nigga took her out for dinner.
As he said, when it all falls down, you're still black. They want to unalive you. They want to enslave you. They want to emasculate you.
You want to do that too. The so-called white woman was right there riding for that. What are you talking about? What about Margaret Sanger? Weren't no man. Fuck out of here, man.
Jealous of you. But you get involved in misogyny and the oppression of women and the abuse.
Oppression of women. And yes, there are men that abuse women. Yeah, women that abuse men. There are parents that abuse children. Does that mean that a parent is not supposed to be in order over their child? So that this whole thing about, oh, there are men that abuse women. Okay. Still doesn't mean that the order of things isn't the man to be the dominant. Fool.
Of women and the, oppression Olympics and misogyny Olympics because you want to have a false sense of power and inclusion.
She don't want the so-called black man to have no power. That's what she's saying. It's a false sense. Just shut up, black man. Be a bitch.
After
come and worship your white queen. Come over here.
being oppressed. And you would think it would be the other way around, that as a black man who is also just as marginalized as women are in society by these men.
And don't put me in a category with a blood clot woman. Especially not you. You're not marginalized in your society. Even in the court of law, everybody knows that the so-called white child is worth the most. Then it's the white woman, then it's the white man. Ask Emmett Till. Yeah? So don't put me in a category with you. This is you know what? This is a slap in the face for these so-called white women to be sitting up here claiming that they've suffered oppression the same way the so-called black man has. That's a complete disrespect. Which slave ship was they on? Which plantation? What were they doing on the plantation? That's what I want to know. They were sitting up there, ordering beatings just like the so-called white man was. Abusing the slaves the same way. Fuck is this talking about? You see these white women at the fucking lynchings having a good time. What the hell? What game are these devils trying to play? That's what I want to know.
That you would have some sort of more empathy and compassion for women.
Not for you, no.
Than other men. You would think black men would have more empathy and compassion for women.
You're trying to run some weird witchcraft. So having compassion for women means that there's not going to be no order, or we're not supposed to criticize the wrongdoings of women in among our people. That's what compassion means. Just lay down and be a simp.
Than almost any other group of men because of the oppression and trauma that black.
Trying to run game.
and have endured as being a marginalized group. But you just want to be a part of this patriarchy and this false sense of inclusion and this false sense of
part of no patriarchy that involves the so-called white man or no inclusion with Esau. Man just want to run their household, and then we're going to run you and your household. That's what we do know, because you're going into slavery. Yeah? So don't worry about the patriarchy of the white man. You better worry about our patriarchy. Because we're about to brock you up, Becky. And Becky, you better be ready to work too. You ain't going to be sitting around on TikTok. You're going to be working. And and the so-called black woman is going to be abusing you. The so-called Hispanic woman and the so-called Native American woman, they're going to be abusing you. So get ready for that. That's what you need to be worried about. Don't worry about misogyny. You need to be worrying about how much the so-called black women, Hispanic women, and Native American women are going to be ordering you to get whipped and flogged. That's what you need to be worrying about. Yeah? That's what you need to be worrying about. Don't worry about us. You need to be worrying about every time you pissed off the women of the nation of Israel and violated. That's what you need to worry about. Clown. Anyway, let's get Jeremiah 30, because when it says all of them, it wasn't just talking about the men, So I suppose in that way, it's a bit of equality, It's a bit of gender equality that's going to come down the pipeline. So you want to be equal to men. That's all right. That's why you're going to be on the slave ships with them. Yeah. That's why you're going to be on the chains with your man. Yeah. Right next to him. Yeah. Because it's gender equality, in it. And you're gonna love that, right? You're going to get what you want. You're going to be punished together, holding hands right next to each other. Whip for whip. You're going to enjoy the same lashes from the same whip. Equality, man. I hope you love it. This is Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. You and your people devoured us. And you enjoyed it. You loved it. You benefited it. Who benefited more, except for the so-called white man himself? Who benefited more than the so-called white woman? Who's been living better? The two people that's been living the best life on earth for the last 500 years is a so-called white man, and right next to him equally the so-called white woman. Because anywhere you see the so-called white man, guess what? That's where you're going to find the so-called white woman. Yeah, because you're joined. That's why when he go into slavery and he in them pits, guess what? You're going to be in them pits as well. Yeah? Because you devoured us too. So don't worry about what we're doing on the podcast. Yeah. And all thine adversaries, which is you're an adversary. And you're proving it right now, because you're here trying to shame the so-called black man into going along with the Willie Lynch tactics. Every one of them shall go into captivity. You're going into captivity. You're going into slavery. And you're going to wish for the days that you were in so-called oppression under your man, when you could sit there and drink your lemonade and you didn't have to go work. Yeah. And all you had to do was bake a cake now and then. Yeah, you're gonna wish for them days. You better believe that. Oh, you're gonna want some of that oppression, because you don't want to go where. Listen, I'll tell you this for free. You ain't gonna want to be where you're going, because then you're gonna know about a real oppression. You know what I'm saying? Taking the piss. Yeah, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee shall I give for a prey. Yeah, you hear that? Taking the piss. Yeah, you Becky's about to go down hard, man. You Becky's are going down with your man, 100%. Don't ever think that you're not, and don't ever think you're not about to suffer, that you're going to get some kind of free ride. You had your free ride already. Alright? You going down. Alright? We ain't going to care about that man-woman stuff. You going down with your man. So you better stand by him. Don't try to jump ship. Yeah? Disgusting. Alright? Esau, Edom set up feminism to destroy our people, man. You had Willie Lynch, and you had feminism, and to bring disorder to our people. And through this ministry, the Lord is gonna set his people in the proper order, and the man is going to be placed into his proper order. The woman is going to be placed into her proper order in love and in righteousness, and we gon' enjoy ourselves in the kingdom. You better believe that. Us and our children and our children. But you about to get broke up. Yeah, so just shut your mouth, Becky.